Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's INOOT webinar, which is being delivered through Zoom. This is the second season of our series, which we've created to help educate and inform you on the latest and greatest of technologies. Thank you very much for taking the time today to join us on the webinar. Today's webinar is on Cisco Meraki. So for those of you registered early, you should have your crunchies ready so you can sit back, relax and enjoy the webinar. Just before you leave the end of the webinar, there will be a poll. Just try and get some feedback from the webinar today, just sort of help us deliver these in the future. So you may not recognise the usual voice today. My name is Guy Sumner. I'm an account manager at Servium. I'm currently standing in for Steve Dawes while he's busy sunning himself in sunny Dubai. So as I already mentioned, today's webinar is on Cisco Meraki, and I would like to introduce Alex Pozzi, who has the world's longest title. He's the Cisco Enterprise Network and Collaboration Technical Lead. Good morning, Alex.
Well, thank you very much for the intro, Guy. Indeed, yeah, good morning, everyone. My basically main focus within the realms of technology is enterprise networking and collaboration. So we'll give you a round of what that looks like in some of the key technologies that we'll be demoing for you this morning.
Lovely. Thank you, Alex. Yes, he's today's expert and will be taking us through Cisco Meraki and also giving us a live demo as well. So today's date, despite the obvious it being Friday the 13th, I currently have everything crossed, everything goes well today. So let's have a look back in time. So 1985, Super Mario Brothers game first appears at Nintendo, and very relevant to IT, in 1956, IBM introduces the first commercial computer with a hard drive that uses magnetic disk storage. It weighs over a ton, so a little bit different from today's infrastructure. But most importantly, today, Friday the 13th, it is about the Servium INOOT. So a little bit about Servium. So we create great experiences for our customers by adding value and putting you at the center of everything we do to walk in your shoes. So how do we do that? We do that through really good account management. We have a great partner ecosystem for you to take full advantage of, and we're always accessible and we are a reliable extension to your IT team. We're nimble, agile, straight talking, practical, and no matter how small or large the challenge, we work through each stage of the project to help deliver the solution through our approach, strategy, design, implementation, and support. But most importantly is the review, where we can ensure it was delivered to the timescales and it was met with all the challenges and exceeded your expectations. So how is this done? This is done through our services ecosystem, which has a full breadth of knowledge, and we always tell you who we're working with right from the beginning. So like today, we're working with Alex Pozzi. You have full access to this, and today is a prime example of how we use it, and that is with Cisco Meraki. So looking at our Servium Pathfinder, where does today's webinar sit? Today's webinar sits within networking. So without taking too much more of your time, I'm going to pass over to Alex, who will take us through Cisco Meraki. So Alex, over to you.
Oh, thank you very much, Guy. Yes, so this morning it's going to be an introduction to Cisco Meraki and why it's so important to have a look at what the dashboard potential is, because it's through simplicity that we actually onboard our customers. It's seeing something really easy to apprehend and use and manage your networks that you will all fall in love with it, I'm sure. And in fact, one of the key things that make Merakians get out of bed every morning is simplifying technology for our customers. So this is one of our main messages out there. We would like to free people to their common problems, their common networking challenges, and create networks that, well, technology that simply works. So this I think is one of the main phrases that you will hear from Meraki, and that is making technology simple. And I know how hard that could be and how simple I make it sound, but it's through simplifying this challenge in IT that we have created a single pane of glass, and you might have heard this before from various IT vendors, single pane of glass to manage your networks, which hasn't quite ever been a single pane of glass. But at Meraki, the only thing you'll need to manage your networks and devices is access to a web browser. It could be it could be Chrome, Firefox, etc. As long as you have access to the internet, you can manage all of your network devices. And as you can see from this slide here, we've got multiple products in the portfolio, from wireless all the way to video surveillance cameras and mobile device management. So also a few figures to keep in mind out there is we have now over 340,000 unique customers around the planet, and that is with over 3.5 million devices. And also this is creating a lot of traffic on our dashboard, as we see over 5.5 million Meraki dashboard users. So these are big numbers looking at where we grew from in the beginning of 2012. You may ask as well, being a cloud managed product, how is the architecture? How does it work? Knowing the basis is always very, very important. So with that idea of having a single pane of glass to manage your networks, any device that connects to the internet will first do one of two things. A is download any software updates or upgrades. So imagine having taken this device out of the box for the first time. The first thing it will want to do is download the latest and greatest, and it will do that automatically. Secondly, is any parameters you've already configured in the dashboard through the Meraki data center, it will download this configuration and then start to operate immediately. And this is with full flexibility, whether it's back at HQ or it's a remote office, or even if it's at home for teleworkers. As long as this device has access to the internet, it will do all of that. And based on this architecture, we're able to, I would say, hit 4 of the most important pillars. I've got 3 down here, but you can imagine the 4th one being always, I would say, future-proof as a product, but I'll go over these in more detail now. So imagine having your network in the office. We can see from the diagram here on the left-hand side. So we have a full Meraki stack. So that's a firewall switch and an access point. The way we operate is with what we call out-of-band cloud management. So that means that we separate a management data tunnel to what is our user data traffic. So having a cloud managed product does create a few skepticisms for customers when approaching this, because the first thing customers will think of is my data traffic is all going to go to a unknown data center somewhere around the planet, and people are going to look at what I'm doing. Well, actually, that doesn't work as such. With Meraki, what happens is the only data that goes back to the data centers is reporting and statistics on the actual devices. So being able to tell how healthy or non-healthy, or if we've changed some parameters on the device, this goes through an encrypted management data tunnel. And the user traffic is completely separate. So this is pretty much how Meraki is set up. It's extremely scalable, because being fully cloud managed, you don't have to spend time or any investment in trying to get these control systems up and running. So traditionally, for example, on Cisco Wi-Fi, if you bought a controller, it would support 50 access points. Then you have to grow that. You have to buy another controller, where you don't have this pain with Meraki. It's also very reliable, because it is using Meraki data centers who are certified to guarantee a 99.99% uptime SLA. There's a few certifications like the SAS 70, which is very important, because it's a very high and prestigious certification for data centers. But you can find all of this on meraki.cisco.com/trust. With this, we also have in mind always security. So because of the out-of-band control model none of the user traffic goes into our data centers. We also have processes and tools within the dashboard that allows customers to test and maintain their HIPAA and PCI compliancy. So these are normally for healthcare or credit card payments over the network to make sure that your network is secure. And the fourth one is obviously making a product future-proof, because with Meraki being fully cloud managed, we handle all of the software updates, upgrades, and make sure everything is up and running. So in fact, with our model, we have a one-to-one ratio. So whenever you buy a hardware product at Meraki, there is a subscription to go with it. And that subscription can protect you all the way up to 10 years. So this subscription, what it does, it licenses the product. It provides 24/7 technical support. And I can show you in the dashboard how easy it is to get in touch with support. It's either via phone or via email. I always endorse contacting Meraki because you get straight through to a technical engineer. You always get software updates and upgrades. And a very good example is we had the MS220 switches, which were, I think, the first series switches that ever came out at Cisco Meraki. And these only supported layer 2 features. However, with a software update last year, these switches also had reimaged and were able to perform some basic static layer 3 routing. And it's something that any other product on the market wouldn't have been able to. Obviously, when there is a new feature that comes out, if you have the product and it's subscribed to the Meraki dashboard, you get that feature absolutely free of charge. So it's included in your cloud subscription. So without having to dig into too much in a presentation, as I like to always give a good demo with a Meraki dashboard, let me go ahead and share my screen. There we go. And straight into our dashboard. So the first thing you'll see when you log into your dashboard is where are your networks located geographically? Because if you're a big organization, these could be all over the globe. Therefore, we made it extremely easy and based on Google Maps to locate your networks, but also give you a brief breakdown of the network status, the data usage, and the devices connected to that network. So if there were, for example, an issue as well, it's really easy to locate where that problem is by just clicking on devices, and you can see the health status of each and every device. So this is a overview of your organization. You could go and have even a deeper report of what's going on by clicking on Organization Summary Report. This can be tailored to exactly what you want to see and what you want to build as a report. It can be dedicated to either switching or wireless or security. I like to build it for the entire organization. As you can see, it takes a moment to load all the data, as it's showing everything between the 1st of November 2018 and April 30th, 2019. There we go. So there's quite a bit of data, substantial amount of data actually being displayed. How much downloads, how much data being uploaded, and also the clients are using the network the most. So without having to go into too much detail on this page, I'm going to scroll down and grab your attention onto some of the details that are being displayed. So one of them is the power over Ethernet usage over time. Our switches also have a lovely feature called power Ethernet port schedules. So that means that over a certain period of time, if the network doesn't require PoEs, such as IP phones and desk devices, you can turn those off, and you can monitor also how much power is used over time, which is quite useful if you're trying to also lower the costs that are ongoing in the business. Secondly is the top applications by usage. So it's always been difficult to monitor what's going on in the network. and to make sure that obviously only authorized applications and safe applications are going on in the network. But as an IT admin, I have this urge of making sure that all the data passing through my network is safe. But as I can see here, there is one application which is shouldn't be there, or even some other video streaming applications that shouldn't be there in the organization. So what next steps do I need to take in order to make sure that these are blocked or restricted or throttled so it doesn't use as much data? Well, it's very, very simple. We go over to another tab called the network wide. And on the network wide, we can see a monitor clients link. So what that does is actually takes me to the network and gives me the full details. This is only retrospective to maximum 30 days. But what it does, it pulls out all of the clients that connected to this network. And also on the pie chart, you can click on more and view in detail exactly the applications that are being viewed. So this is quite some unprecedented layer 7 visibility. And we saw BitTorrent and Netflix before. So as you can see, it's ranked the 16th top application. So we can click on that and further look into what devices are using Netflix, and we can take one of two actions. Number one is perhaps just block the specific device from using the network. So we can see the policy section once we click on the client and block, or create a group policy, or for example, name it for the specific application we're blocking. Or you can block it and type a message as well, internet access blocked. So this user, whenever he will try to browse the internet, will have this message pop out on the browser. The second option is to create a group policy, which is much more scalable, especially in an enterprise. You can create group policies that can then be applied to the entire network. So let's say, for example, we're creating one from scratch. So we can call that a new policy Netflix. And look how simple it is to go in and block Netflix. So we have to use custom firewall and traffic shaping rules because we want to change these rules, and add a layer 7 firewall rule. So what that means is, let's add an application level rule. Therefore, when we go over on audio and video streaming, so video and music, we can see there here a list quite easily spot as well, Netflix, and you can click Netflix and click save. So that's me already created a policy ready to apply to the entire organization. The next thing I wanted to demo as well was the security center under the security appliance. So whenever customers buy a MX device or security appliance with an advanced security license, you can also get a summary with a security report. So hopefully we'll get all the reports. So let me just try and reload. This is always the fun of running a demo. You never know when it breaks. So let's try another organization which has been running for a lot longer and show you what will be built out by the security center. It basically maps out all of the events in over time. So it can go also retrospective over 2 hours, a day, a week, or 2 weeks. And what it does, it shows you all the events over time. It will list them out per devices that caused these events, where they took place. And when you hover over them, you can see also where they originated and where they ended. So let's say, for example, there was some suspicious queries coming to another country. We can do geo-based firewall rules that can block that. So for example, we can see this area has been highlighted in red. This tells me there's a geo policy that is blocking any sort of connection in or out from China. So this is very, very simple. You don't have to configure it. The moment you plug in a Meraki MX, all you have to do is hover over security and SD-WAN, click on the section, and this enable these threat. So you can also activate or deactivate AMP or IPS and IDS. There are different layers of security. These are obviously well documented in the Meraki website. So I know we're tight for time, so let me go back to our slide deck. We have a few more slides, and then I will hand it over back to Guy.
There you go. There you go. Back to you.
Lovely, thank you very much. So product families, we mentioned we have quite a few products being managed by the dashboard. So, Guy, can you pass me the controls?
Yeah. Sorry. There you
No
go.
worries.
Try now.
I thought, yeah.
There you
Lovely. So first product up is the access points, which are extremely popular in our portfolio, just for the simplicity of plug and play. These products, like I mentioned, are fully managed by that single pane of glass we saw this morning. We have a very big portfolio now with both indoor and outdoor access points, but also all of them are basically 802.11ac wave 2 as a minimum, and we have also newer products in the portfolio that are wave 11AX, which are the new multi-gig access points that can run all the way to 5 gigahertz. Therefore, we will need multi-gig technology, which is that capability for a Ethernet cable, a traditional copper cable, Cat5e or Cat6, that can negotiate rates above 1 gig. So this is a new standard that was confirmed in the end of 2017. So any traditional copper cabling can negotiate rates that are above 1 gig, equal to 2.5 gig, 5 gig, or 10 gig. Good to mention as well, with the access points, customers have a lifetime warranty. So talking about future proofing, where we were buying also a license for 10 years, these products will be lifetime warranted. Our SD-WAN and security flagship appliances, Meraki, we have any size, fit any needs. Therefore, if it's a teleworker gateway for home workers, or if it's big data center appliance that will need throughputs above 4 gigabits per second, we have the product in the portfolio. So don't forget to reach out if you have any inquiries or you would like to see the portfolio in more detail. All of it is also available on the meraki.cisco.com website. Insight is a newer product that has been bolted on to the Meraki MX. It basically provides deeper insight and quality of your WAN and LAN. Therefore, we can also provide application-based scoring or application performance-based scoring so that we can monitor specific applications, how are they behaving in the network and how well they're performing. So it gives IT admins a good indication of how is Office 365 performing in my organization, what can I do to improve that experience for my customers. We also have the wired enterprise networking products. The Meraki switches also come in a variety of models, all the way from desktop 8-port PoE switches, all the way to big core data center switches that are 100 gig capable for aggregation. So there's multiple configurations, 8 ports, 24 ports, 48 ports, MGig, UPoE, all the latest technologies that you would look for. The outstanding difference with the Meraki switches is, although it's a switch, whenever you plug it in the network, you're also able to glance on layer 7 application visibility. So without the need of any other third-party application, with a switch, you're able to tell who's connected to that switch and what are they using in terms of applications. Is it Netflix? Is it Office 365, etc. Mobile device management has always been a big ask. How do we control and manage mobile devices in the network? Well, the answer is Systems Manager. which is Cisco's official mobile device management product. Very easy to use, very easy to onboard devices. There are multiple ways fit for any customer. We can manage all devices, even going down to managing BlackBerries. Obviously, there are different features available for different software versions, but all the latest iOS and Android can benefit with the latest and greatest, the same as well for Mac and Windows devices. This again is fully cloud-based, and you do not need to have a full network at Meraki to be able to enjoy and use a systems manager as well. You can bolt it onto any existent network. MV is our video surveillance product line. Now this grew quite big from when it was first announced with 2 camera models. We now, I believe, have almost 6 camera models, going from fisheye view cameras, very low profile cameras, indoors and outdoors, with and without microphone for audio recording, night vision, so all of these features that we would expect from a video surveillance camera, with the flexibility of mounting options, especially connectivity, because those customers that have problems in connectivity and don't have copper cable running through every corner of the environment, these cameras can also connect via Wi-Fi. So it's quite flexible for clients to be able to onboard these devices. And the unique feature point of our Meraki cameras, our unique selling point, is obviously the built-in storage. They are, of course, a fully dashboard managed product, just like a switch and firewall that we saw earlier. But these have the built-in storage, which allows customers to save on the traditional method of deploying video surveillance, which is adopting a separate storage system, separate management system to be able to manage the video feed, etc. You can also upload the direct video feed to Azure that can store 90 days or 180 days of video footage in the cloud for you with an additional subscription. So the Meraki full stack is available to any customers that would like to try these products. So please reach out to your account managers if you would like to arrange for a demo, if you would like to arrange for a product trial. These are available on all the products, the access points, the switches, the systems manager, everything that you can see here is a product that you can try. So I thank you very much for your time, and I'm now going to hand it over to Guy. So thank you for your attention this early in the morning.
Thank you, Alex. That was very good, very informative. Thank you very much. So right now we're going to take some questions. So if you've got any questions, please type them in the box above. I've already got a couple that have already come through. So Alex, John has asked, described as a highly available cloud, just how resilient is the service and what level of backup or disaster recovery is in place?
That is a very, very good question. Thank you. Basically, Meraki have deployed data centers all over the globe. So it is very, very resilient. As I mentioned, they comply with some data center certifications for high availability and redundancy. So you can see these on the website meraki.cisco.com/trust. These are certifications that guarantee a 99.9% of uptime in our data centers. So we also have every minute, I believe, or every few minutes, some tests being carried out to each and every data center to make sure that they're up and running.
Okay, thank you. Michael has asked, is there any specific training required to use the management interface?
Again, very good question. Oh, they're coming all up this morning. With the dashboard, as you can see, it's very, very intuitive. You can quite easily navigate as it's web browser based. There's no CLI, so none of the Meraki products are CLI based. There are webinars available online, and we can also do separate one-to-ones if needed. But the training that you need to do is simply open a dashboard and start playing around, as we would say, because it's so simple that just by browsing around the dashboard and the documentation that is online is very informative.
Okay, thank you. Paul has asked, are there any limitations in terms of size of my network, and do I need a specific number of endpoints to implement this solution effectively?
Again, nice question. We do not have any limits. In fact, on one of my slides where we looked at the 4 most important things about cloud management was scalability. Therefore, if any client wants to open a dashboard account and buy a Meraki product, they can start with fewer devices, like just 1 access point, or launch 1,000 devices all at once. This is all possible through even the pre-configured configuration templates. So you just hit the configuration button and off you go. You can turn on 1,000 devices. All because it's a fully cloud managed product, so you don't have to worry about any controller sizing or anything. You can go live with 1 or 10,000 devices.
Okay. We've got a couple more. Dan has asked, will Meraki Kit interoperate with existing Cisco tech?
Absolutely. So we have a number of integrations, so you're able to integrate our ICE, for example, for policing and authenticating users. You can also incorporate Meraki products with other third-party vendors, not just Cisco. So imagine an environment where a customer just wants Wi-Fi, but has a number or a background with Juniper, Avaya, Cisco, HP. It's a mix of networking equipment and technology. A Wi-Fi can simply you can just simply plug in a Meraki access point and start with that.
Okay, and one final question from Mark. How secure is the management interface?
Very secure. So Cisco Meraki will authenticate you to the cloud dashboard via SSL. So it's protected web browser encrypted level. Therefore, all of your data is secure. There is an additional level of security. So what you saw today was a username and password type of authentication. If required, you can also do 2-way authentication. And this can be enabled quite easily through the dashboard. There's no additional cost. You can do it through the administration portal.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Alex. And if there's any other specific questions anyone has, please drop your account manager an email to find out more, and we can pass these over to Alex. You should now see on your screens a poll. We take these quite seriously. It's always good to get your feedback on these webinars, so please take your time to fill them out. This sort of helps us in the future to build our webinars. We've got loads more to come over the coming weeks. There'll also be a recording of this available, which we sent round later today, and it'll also be published on our YouTube channel. So if you're not already subscribed, head over there. Make sure you subscribe, because there's loads of content on there. Thanks again to Alex for presenting. Thanks for your support on the webinar today. It's been great. Hope everyone found it useful and got something out of it. I know it's hard. We try and cram as much as we can into 30 minutes, as we understand your time is precious. So thanks very much for watching today. Our next webinar is on Panda software, which is on Friday, the 24th of September. And our famous face for radio, Stephen Dawes, will be back from his travels and taking the hot seat back again. So that's it for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks again for taking your time to be with us. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and have a great weekend. Thank you very much.